James Scritch, welcome back to the Scritch Has Gone Wild channel, and thanks again for tuning in. We are at mile marker 515, and we are at Hurricane Shelter. Just give you a quick peek. Actually pretty nice, pretty big shelter, can hold a lot of people, and I think we're going to hole up here tonight because it's been raining for a couple of days, and we're kind of tired of the rain. But that gives us a great opportunity, that's right, to have another interview. And I know how much y'all like your interviews. So this is my buddy here, Blackbeard. And so we're going to do a quick interview with Blackbeard. And so y'all are going to love it because he's a great guy. So let's start out. Tell us about your trail name.
Trail name is Blackbeard. The reason I got it about, I think, 4 days into my hike. And it's because I have a hat that has a pirate patch on it, and so that, and I used to have actually a beard probably about 6 inches longer than this, and a kid saw it and he's like, oh, 2 and 2 together, and yeah, started calling me Blackbeard from that point on. So it just stuck.
That's awesome. So you've been kind of cleaning up.
Yeah, I had to. I had more food in my beard than I had in my pack. so it was time to shave it and clean it up a bit. So yeah, I used to have it. It was probably bad down to about here when I got on the trail. So.
Oh, all right. But if you had all that food in your beard, you wouldn't have to carry as much in your pack, and you'd have reserves, right?
Yeah, facts.
Well, just so everybody out there knows, this is the longest my beard's ever been. I've never had this much time off from the Navy to grow it, so we'll see what happens. All right. So a burning question everybody asks me, and they always want to know, why did you decide to hike the trail?
Okay, this one is a little bit personal, and so yeah, I don't know how the edit's going to go and everything like that. But,
there is no editing on my channel, so right whatever you say will be on there.
Okay.
So be as personal as you want. It's up to you.
So bottom line, just retired from the Army Special Forces last year.
We're not going to hold that against him.
And yeah, after I did 22 years and I was medically retired, and I just fell off a cliff because of that. Yeah, the Army was my life. Military was my life. I loved every bit of it, and I would have stayed in as long as I could have. But yeah, I started running into some issues and everything like that, and I got med boarded, and from that point on, just fell off a cliff and fell into depression and suicidal thoughts and alcohol issues and stuff like that. And that went on for about almost 10 months. And so I got to the point where I was just living in my basement and put on about 70 pounds over the last year. And I don't know what happened. At one point, I just like, okay, I'm tired of doing this. I've got to do something different, or I'm just going to lay here and die. And so I started looking for things to do that could get me out of the house, and saw the Appalachian Trail. And I was like, yeah, let's go for it, because it'd get me moving every day. And I had a goal to work towards, and I had left and right limits. I mean, it's pretty simple. You wake up, you start walking, and you eat, and you go to sleep, and repeat that day in and day out. And so my hope is that it'll help me with the whole mental aspect of it, just calm my mind down and allow me just to enjoy life again. And I've been out here 69 days right now, and so far it's helped quite a bit. In the 69 days, I've dropped about 40 pounds of weight already. And
wow.
Yeah, that aspect has helped quite a bit. I'm down to around 235 now. As far as the mental portion of it, I can feel the difference. My mind's a lot calmer out here than it is back home. It's just a chaos. A lot of the veterans understand what I'm talking about. It just doesn't stop. The mind just keeps running and playing back all the things that have happened and you've done and everything like that. And out here, it's a little different. Like, you still hear it, you still see a lot of those things, and a lot of it, you still have a lot of the playback in your mind and stuff like that, but it's not as prevalent, I guess you would say, and it doesn't affect you as much. And so, yeah, and so it's helping. But that's the reason I'm out here. Just like a lot of other veterans, I've met quite a few of them out here so far, and they're doing the same thing, looking for some healing out here on the trail.
Well, brother, thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. We love you, man. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
28 years in the Navy. So,
that's awesome.
I appreciate your honesty too, and I think I've said this on one of my other videos. If I haven't, there's the average is 22 veterans a day commit suicide. And so I'm thankful you're out here talking to me and not somewhere else. So, and I just want a big shout out. First of all, thank you for your service, because I know how I know what that's like, and that's super important. Also, just want to say, say a prayer for all those people out there, since we're on the subject, that are struggling coming back. You don't know what they've been through, and if there's any way you can help, that would be fantastic. But thank you again for that. Was very heartfelt and very meaningful, and take that to heart, everybody out there.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity. Sure.
So let's make it a little more lighthearted.
All right, right on.
So what's been other than your healing process that you just told us about, what's been the best part of the trail, or the best thing on the trail?
I think just the social interaction with other people. Because when you're out here, everybody's working together, everybody's going to the same place, ultimate destination and stuff. And so you meet just people from every walks of life, old, young, male, female. I mean, it doesn't matter. Heavy, light. Like, I'll be surprised at some of the people that pass me and hike way faster than I do. I mean, there's some people in their 60s and some older females in their 60s and stuff like that who hike faster than me. And it's just interesting to see the different demographics that are out here and doing this and stuff. And it just shows that anybody can do it. I mean, anybody, if they want to come out here and put forth the effort, they can do it. And I think for me, that's the most interesting part that I've seen so far. And also just the physicality of it. It's actually hard. A lot of these videos you see, people don't really talk about how much work you put in every day, but I mean, you make it as hard as you want. Most people are hiking anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day, and you're climbing hills all day long. And so, if you're putting in that kind of work, man, it's hard, but it's rewarding, and that's what I enjoy about it. So.
That's awesome. So I'm just going to interject here. It's kind of funny. So I was talking to my daughter, Belle, before we got on the trail, and she was asking me, why are you guys getting on the trail? I'm not going to go into all that, but one of the things I told her is I said, I can't wait for the simple life.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and she's like, that doesn't sound simple to me. And I said, oh, sweetheart, the opposite of simple is not hard. The opposite of simple is complicated or complex. Some of the most simple things in life can be hard, but they can also be extremely rewarding. So I'm glad you said it that way. Yep. Okay, what's the craziest thing you've seen on the trail?
Probably rattlesnake that I stepped right next to.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, right before, God, I can't even think of it was coming out of, Watauga Lake. Coming out of there, the grass was probably a foot high on both sides of the trail, and I stuck my right hiking pole on the ground, and I heard a rattling going, and I looked down, and sure enough, about a 3.5 foot rattlesnake was right next to my hiking pole. And it took me a minute to get him out of my way so I could keep walking, but that was probably the craziest thing I've seen so far.
All right, great. I actually stepped on a snake. But this was at Fontana Village Resort, right outside my sliding glass door.
Oh, wow.
I thought I stepped on a piece of rubber, but then it started moving, and I'm like, oh, rubber doesn't move.
Yeah, that's wild.
He was nice. I felt bad. I apologized. He kept an eye on me, and then he eventually kind of slithered off. Okay, have you thought about quitting at all?
No, not necessarily quitting. Because in my mind, there's nothing else to go back to. Because, there's some days that, man, it's just kind of hard. Just you're physically wore out. And I'm like, okay, what if I just got off the trail? And I'm like, well, I'd go back to sitting on the couch and doing nothing. And so the alternative of out here walking every day doesn't outweigh the time and effort it takes to walk. And so, no, I haven't thought about quitting yet. That, and two, for me, I mean, it's kind of simple. The only way to fail walking the Appalachian Trail is you get hurt or you quit. I mean, it's just walking every day. And it's a lot of physical walking, physical activity, but I mean, if you just keep walking every day, eventually you're going to get to the end. So.
Yeah, you keep talking about how physical it is, and I completely agree with you. But can you kind of tell them where you started and where you are now, because how you built up the strength? Because now you're doing miles that you started and you don't even think about.
Yeah, true. And so given my background too, everybody thinks, oh, you're in military special forces, you should have just came in here and crushed it. Yes, for the most part, that's true. But I took off almost a year and a half between the time I retired and the time I actually walked the trail. And in that amount of time, I literally probably didn't walk farther than a half a mile in that year and a half, and I didn't do any exercise, and that's why I gained about 70 pounds. And I started the trail at 276, and so I was pretty heavy. But I knew coming into it, it's after looking or watching some of the videos and everything, I knew it was going to suck pretty bad for the first few weeks until I got my trail legs. So I knew I was going to have to take it a little easy. And so starting out for the first 2 weeks, I only did 5 miles a day. Other than Amicola Falls, I did Amicola Falls and then stopped 7.4 miles at the first tent site there. But after that, no, I couldn't. I was only doing 5 miles a day because my feet and legs were just dying after that. And that lasted for 2 weeks, and then after that I jumped up to 7, and I did that for about a week, and then after that jumped up to 8 to 10 for about a week and a half. And then after that one, jumped up to 12, and now I'm right at 69 days in, and I'm doing 15-mile days. It still sucks. By the end of the day, I'm pretty wore out, so my feet hurt and my legs hurt, but I'm doing it consecutively now. And so once again, when I get doing 15s consecutively, then I'm going to push it up to 17 and 18 and so forth and so on until I've hit the tide. But I do have a couple goals. I want to hit at least one 25-mile day and a 30-mile day, and I know that's achievable. So,
okay, great. All right, final question. If anybody's thinking about doing the trail and they want to get ready, what is the biggest piece of advice you'd give them?
For me, the physical part of it would be to get in your gym, get on a 30 to 35 pound pack on, and do the stair climber for at least an hour to 2 hours every day for 5 days a week, and then you'll see what your legs feel like. And also that builds up the endurance you'll actually need to do the trail as well. The mental aspect is hard to learn how to do. I mean, given me and his background, we've been trained our whole lives to deal with the mental aspect of it. So far, the mental aspect it hasn't bothered me one bit. So I would like to speak on the physical part. To physically get ready, I would say, do a lot of climbing hills, because once again, when you're walking with a pack on just flat ground, it doesn't build all the auxiliary muscles, it doesn't strengthen your tendons, ligaments, your joints and stuff like that you're going to just destroy out here. And so that would be my advice. Hit the stair stepper with 35 pound pack on and try to find some hills and climb up and down them. Okay, awesome. Any last words you'd like to say? No, I just appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys and share this and stuff like that. And hope you guys get something out of it. And if you decide to walk the trail, man, good luck. It's awesome. Okay, awesome. Hey, thanks, Blackbeard. Really appreciate it, brother. Great interview. Some great insights in here. I'm glad everybody's going to be able to hear what he's had to say and hopefully take that to heart. And as you all know, stay positive. Do something good for somebody. Say your prayers. Have a glass of wine for me tonight. And until next time, Scritches out.